Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. Today we are continuing with the group predictions, and this one is going to be for Babymonster to figure out how their 2025 will be like. And in the description below I will have the questions that we're going to read or answer in this video, and I will also have the timestamps in case you want to jump around to the question that you might be a bit more interested in. But with all of that said, let's jump into the first question, which is to figure out what is Babymonster's current energy. So the first card to start off is the Lovers. And then the cards that just flew up is the Empress. Wait, hold up. It's not the Empress. It's the High Priestess, the Queen of Cups, and then the Four of Swords. So those cards are all extremely positive. We have two major arcana, so House of the Reading is like super important life lessons that the group is going through, and then the Queen of Cups will be kind of like the energy that the group is in, and the Four of Swords is a very good card to have just in general. So with the Lovers, it feels like the group right now is in this energy where they are following their passions, doing what they want to do, maybe a bit rebellious in the sense of they're trying to figure out what they like, what they want to do, and those things is kind of like exploring a little bit more of like their independent way of thinking and their own opinions, and maybe breaking free a little bit from the community and from what's standard. Now I'm saying it that way because the Lovers goes right after the Hierophant, and the Hierophant is supposed to talk about institutions or like established rules or a community or maybe even like a religious group. So something that has authority, order, and everything quite set on stone. So the Lovers is a card that follows that up, and it's supposed to be someone that is like, okay, now that I have learned what are the conventions and what is the expectations and the standards of life, now it's time for me to explore what I want to do and what my journey is going to look like for me based on what I want. So basically someone that is learning, growing, and just becoming their own person with the Lovers. So right now the group is in this energy where they want to figure out what they want to do, what they're interested in, maybe try new things to figure out if they like it or not. And they have this guidance, which could be like a guardian angel, or maybe a sponsor, a higher up, or maybe a senior within the industry that could be guiding them if it's in relation to their career, which is the music industry. Now, the card right after is the High Priestess upright. So the High Priestess is manifesting from a subconscious level, connecting to the very depths within us that we are not aware of. A High Priestess is also something along those lines of connecting to your intuition and using your intuition. The High Priestess, oh, by the way, the Lovers is Gemini energy, and the High Priestess is the moon. It represents the moon. The Queen of Cups is Scorpio energy, and then the Four of Swords, I'm not too sure. Anyway, so we have quite a bit of water here with the High Priestess and the Queen of Cups. But with the High Priestess, we also have this energy of someone that has a lot of abundance with the pomegranates in the background, and also this sense of like a bunch of ideas. So I'm getting someone that is extremely creative. So the group is in this energy right now where they feel confident and they blindly trust that things are going to be okay, because we have the eyes of the High Priestess. What do they want to do, and then subconsciously daydreaming like, this is what I want it to look like, this is what I want it to feel, this is how I want to experience it, and so on. And that imagination, that daydreaming will all definitely help as a form of visualizing the future that they want, which will help them manifest that abundance necessary to make that dream a reality. Now, the card that we have right after that is the Queen of Cups. So, the Queen of Cups talks about someone that is very intuitive, similar to the High Priestess. And the Queen of Cups also talks about someone that is very in tune with their heart and their emotions. And with the Scorpio energy, we are talking about not only someone that is very spiritually connected, but also someone that is aware of their emotions, and they use it in order to have a better understanding of themselves, their environment, and they use it to their advantage. So they don't allow their emotions to necessarily throw them off the loop or get them out of their comfort zone or out of their stable place, but it's more along the lines of using their emotions to empower them, to help them figure out what they like, to guide themselves by the heart, by their intuition, to stay in this creative energy that allows them to create anything that they want from their imagination, or being able to express themselves with their creativity, to express their emotions and their thoughts, and so on and so on. So also with Scorpio energy, we are talking about transformation. So right now the group is going through this transformation where they're guiding themselves by their passions, by their heart, by their emotions, and allowing all of that to kind of express itself through their creativity. Lastly, with the Four of Swords, we have that the group right now is very relaxed, very calm. They've been resting a lot, and that has allowed them to have a clear mind, because sword energy is about our thoughts, our ideas, our communication, and anything in regards to the mind and the intellect. And with the Four of Swords, the number 4 talks about stability. So if you combine those ideas, we have someone that is like resting in order to have a clear mind. And having that clear mind does help with manifestation, because now you go like intuitively, this is what I want, this is not what I want, and it makes it easier to just have a better idea of how you function as a person, but also have a better idea of like the situation and environment that you're in, which allows to figure out like the gap between your ideal life and the one that you're living in the present moment. So currently the group is in this energy where they're taking everything one step at a time. They're pretty relaxed. They are going through their journey and just trusting in the process, trusting that they are doing what is necessary to make their dreams come true, and they're subconsciously visualizing and manifesting the life that they desire, maybe as a group or just individually. Like this could be like all of them are like doing their own thing to manifest the future that they want, or maybe all together they're all talking like, this is what I want, oh, this is what I want, and by doing that they're kind of like inspiring each other to practice this form of manifestation. Now let's go on to the next question, which is, what is in store for Babymonster's career this 2025? We have new moon in Aries with it's time to take action, and we have third quarter moon with adjustments are required. So in order for them to manifest the things that they want for their career, they have to definitely take action, get things done. You know, if some of them have been planning something for a while, the universe is saying, okay, good for the plans, we appreciate it, but now time to take action, time to put those actions into motion, time to, if you're planning to talk to someone, talk to that person. If you're planning to do something and you don't know how to do it, just try to do it to figure out what works and what doesn't work. Don't just go like, oh, which one will be the best one. You know those times when someone is planning and they stay in the planning stages because they don't actually want to execute those plans, because then that requires work. That's kind of what I'm getting for some of them for their career, is like, now it's time to take some risks. It's time to be fearless. It is time to try new things and figure out what works, what doesn't work, and learn from those experiences, from what actually worked and what maybe they have to kind of learn a bit more in order to make it a success. So definitely this, for their career this year, is going to be one where they kind of just have to try everything and then just kind of see what sticks. There is this idea that they may have to adjust things. With the adjustments are required, is like, even if they do all the research in the world, they will not really get all the answers or all the information that will definitely help them have like a not a bulletproof, I was gonna say idiot proof, I mean that works too, but like having like a plan that is not gonna fail, right? Like there's always something that could go wrong, there's always something that can unexpectedly happen. So it definitely feels like for them the adjustments are required is just a reminder for the group that this year, even though they're gonna take risk, and even if they do all the research in the world or have all the knowledge in the world, something can always happen that could make it very I guess, unexpected. So if so, there's all I'm saying is like they don't have to get hung up with having everything perfectly planned out and executing that plan to the T. It's just like sometimes just kind of, with that Aries energy, be a bit reckless and just jump into the action, see where it takes you, and then just learn from those experiences. Because Aries is a sign that can be impulsive, reckless. It's extremely passionate, genuine, and very spontaneous, and they just kind of learn from trying everything. It's like they don't have this idea of like it has to be perfect. Aries doesn't have this idea of like I don't want to fail. It's like, well, let's just do it and see what happens. It's very carefree, very lighthearted, and that's the energy that the group will benefit a lot from if they embody it this 2025. Now let's go into their individual career predictions and figure out what's in store for each one of them. So I'll go in each order. So what is in store for Ruka's career this 2025? We have stress. So, I mean, maybe this could, I don't know if it's age or if it's because she's the leader and the oldest one, but the stress card could mean that this year with her career, there's a lot of things that she will be very concerned about, very worried. Maybe she's taking a lot of responsibilities on her shoulders. Like, even if there's stuff outside of her control, she will be thinking like, oh, maybe I can do this to make things better, or maybe I can do this other thing so avoid this issue. So she's putting a little bit too many responsibilities on her shoulders for her career. Like, either she has a lot of work to do, so she can't focus on all of those things because her mind is constantly split in like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. So she's so busy, and maybe that's why she's stressed. Or again, she is taking a little unnecessary responsibilities on her own. And I'm also getting this whole idea of like not realizing what's within her control and what's not within her control, and because of that she overworks herself when she doesn't have to. So the stress card just kind of shows that in her career she may be overthinking maybe, and just worrying too much when there's no need. If she were to relax a little bit and just look at the situations that she's in and the situations that she's handling, she will have a better idea of what she can actually do to help the situation. And when other situations, maybe all she needs to do is just kind of take a step back and allow things to like fester down a little bit before she actually takes action. It's like, okay, maybe if I take a step back and allow things to kind of settle down, I'll be able to make a better decision on what to do. Something along those lines. On to the next person. So what's in store for Parita's career this 2025? We have disturbance, memory, and conflict. The memory card looks so pretty, but if you see it side to side with the other two cards that it's sandwiched between, it doesn't feel that good anymore. So for Parita's career, it feels like she's going to go down memory lane, or she's going to recall something from her past that will kind of trigger some past pain or struggles that she kind of wants to forget about. One of the things that I'm feeling with this card is that for her career, she's going to look back and realize maybe when someone sabotaged her success, or just thinking back and being like, this person did not have the best interest for me. It feels like in her career, she's going to look back and realize a situation or maybe a person that she was dealing with, that she's going to notice like maybe the red flags that are so obvious now that she has like 2020 hindsight of like how things are turning out. And also as she's growing, maybe she's looking back and be like, wait a minute, that was kind of strange. That was not like, that person did not do that with good intentions, or so on, so on. And by thinking back, she's going to notice all of these things in such a way that she may confront this person, or she may bring this to the forefront, and energies are going to clash. There might be an argument, there might be some conflict, there might be a bit of a discussion that is maybe not the most, it's not gonna be a pretty discussion, but it definitely had to be said, it definitely had to happen. So for her career, she might have an argument with someone because of a past issue where she's finally noticing like, wait a minute, that was not okay. So maybe at the moment she didn't realize that was an issue, or she just let it slide, or she just didn't notice, and then as she thinks back, she goes like, wait a minute, we go like way back, like this is not the first time we've done this. Or like just thinking back and going like, I'm just tired of dealing with this situation and with this person or with this thing. whatever situation she's in. Which, I mean, I do think it could affect her career if it's a coworker, maybe a staff member, maybe a higher up, something like that. Now let's go on to the next person and figure out what's in store for Asa's career this 2025. Okay. So we have stubbornness, accident, perseverance, and readiness. So she might get into, when it says accident, I actually feel that she might get an injury because she's overworking herself. So the stubbornness makes me think that someone may have given her a warning of, let's say, those times where idols go to a doctor because they're not feeling well, and the doctor goes like, you're overworking yourself. Maybe you should, I don't know, rest, eat well, don't stress. And the idols go like, okay, I'm still young, who gives a shit? And then they just still continue doing what they're doing. And sometimes other times it's like because of the type of work that they have, they can't rest even if they wanted to, because that's just how the industry is. I mean, apparently K-pop idols are not even seen as workers. Okay. Anyway, so for Asa's career, for her, it feels like maybe she was given a warning of like, don't overwork yourself. There's no need for you to push yourself, or like, this schedule or this activity is a bad idea because it's just going to be too much to do at once. And I think her body's gonna give out. Like she maybe leaped the wrong way, she didn't warm up correctly, or something that will kind of like stop her this year. Like we'll have to hold her back physically. Like something's gonna happen that she has to rest. She has to sit down for a bit. And the perseverance and readiness just made me think of like, if someone, let's say someone gets an injury and then they have to like do a little bit of physical therapy to get back into shape. I'm getting an image like that, so it kind of feels like she will be ready for 2025, but it will take a while of healing, resting, and like what I'm talking about is usually how I describe the hangman reverse. Sometimes when we are not taking a break, the universe goes like, okay, I'll make sure you take a break. And sometimes it has to take some drastic measures when we don't listen the first like 100 times that we are being very lovingly and very gently told like, why don't you rest, why don't you take a step back? And then next thing you know, we push our bodies to the point that is like, oh, you have to rest, there's no arguing, you have to at this point. So for her career, it just feels that she may be warned to take care of herself and then she doesn't pay attention to that, but she will recover, she will be fine, she will be ready to work, ready to do what she has to do. It's just that she may have just a little bit of a hiccup or an accident within this year. I was gonna say a little burp, so it's kind of like a very loud interruption maybe. I don't know why a little burp came out. Like, what does that word even mean? Anyway, on to the next person. So what is in store for Ayan's career? So we have aid, right, and pride. So for this year, it feels like she's going to realize that there is a support system out there for her that will reach out to help her in a moment of need, in a moment where she felt isolated, in a moment where she was in the shadows, in a moment where she felt a little bit defeated or overwhelmed. Someone is going to extend their help to her and provide her with the resources that she needs, or maybe an ear that will listen to her problems, or just some sort of support that she really needed. And if anything, the right card makes me think of maybe therapy, or it makes me think of creating a healthy routine to overcome the problem. So I don't know what she may need help with, but it feels like someone will kind of, like, you know what I'm getting, like maybe a personal trainer, or maybe some like a senior that has been in the industry and goes like, that issue that you have, I understand it fully, been there, done that, let me give you some advice on how you can like pick yourself back up. And at the end of it, we have pride. So that makes me think that throughout this year within her career, she's going to feel overwhelmed with something, maybe a bit helpless. Someone extends their help to her, and then she creates like this routine or this planning or this process that will work for her. And it's gonna be one that allows her to kind of pick herself back up. Like the help that she's getting is not like a codependent one, but more along the lines of someone that genuinely wants to help her, has the best interest in mind for her, and they just kind of help her figure out what works for her. So maybe if it's a senior, it's like, this is what works for me, but like let's figure out what's going to work for you. And that guidance and also that companionship that she gets will be so helpful that she's gonna be very proud by the end of the year or so, because she will have her established process that is custom made for her, and it just works wonders because it's something she made for herself, basically, whatever planning or whatever routine it may be. But now let's go on to the next person. Figure out what is in store for Rami's career. Why are so many cards coming out? So we have trap, compromise, mask, and third wheel. So it seems like this year she may feel, when I see the trap card, I think it's trap and compromise or commitment. There's another card here. If it comes up, I'll point it out. But if not, I'll see what I do. So the trap card is usually one of the cards that I see as someone that wants to break free from their contract. Not necessarily like break the contract or like resign or anything, but more along the lines of like their contract is holding them back from their true potential as an individual, especially within their career. So maybe Rami gets a lot of opportunities or a lot of people that want to work with her, but because she's under a contract, whoever is taking care of her schedules or whoever gets like the final word on like what opportunities any one of them takes, she feels trapped because there's a lot of wasted opportunities that don't reach her. There's a lot of people that is like, I want to work with you, or I want you to be part of this project, and in her eyes it goes like, oh, I am tied down by this contract, so I can't do something that she wants to do or expand in a certain area or do a certain thing. And because of that, we have compromise. That makes me think that maybe she'll talk to the company and be like, this is what I want, let's negotiate, let's talk, let's communicate, like a mature adult. She will just be like, this is what I want, and this, I know this is part of the contract, but can like we negotiate and find like a middle ground that works for all of us, right? Something that can make all of us happy. But with the mask in the third wheel, I feel like she's going to just kind of hit a wall when it comes to communication. She's going to talk to someone like a higher up or something, whoever takes care of her scheduling or whoever takes care of accepting or denying or declining opportunities for work. She will notice that this person is not going to talk clearly. This person is always going to be talking in riddles or being very vague about the information and the answers that they're giving. Maybe because things are not super concrete. So like if she's like, oh, I want to work in this project, and then the person goes like, well, like I don't have information, so I can't give you that. I'm not talking about that type of communication, but that could lead to misunderstandings. But I'm talking more about the lines of like the person just can't outright say, yeah, you don't have a say of what your schedules are, so like deal with it. Like I don't know, it's just someone that even if they're not trying to hide things, they're just not being completely honest and upfront to her. And that will be very frustrating. So this third wheel just makes me think that she's going to feel within her career or like within her company or something that she is trapped, that she can't do what she wants to do, and she's tied to like the schedules and the contract within her company. She'll want to negotiate, but she's going to kind of get like this very vague answers, and she's gonna, in the third wheel, just makes me think that she's going to feel like all these higher ups are talking to each other, making plans and stuff, and she's just there. She doesn't have a say. She's just kind of like in the background, and that's a realization or something she will notice this year in a way that it maybe angers her, or maybe she just goes like, so this is just the type of industry that I'm in. So she will have like an eye-opening revelation of just what it means to be an idol. And I don't think she's gonna be too happy about it, but I don't know if her distaste of it will lead to greater things, or it will just be her going like, okay, you know what, I give up. let me, a sense of resignation of like that. I guess that's just how things are. Anyway, let's go on to the next person, which is Rora. So what's in store for Rora's career this 2024? 25. So we have schedule. So the schedule card just makes me think, especially since I said 2024, that whatever she wanted to do last year or whatever schedule she had last year that kind of trickled down to 2025, she's going to notice that either she just never has the time to do what she wants to do, or that she's always in a rush, always trying to complete things last minute, always trying to make it to the deadline or something along those lines. But the management plan and organization makes me think that whatever she couldn't complete or accomplish in 2024, she made it her New Year's resolution to achieve those things this year. So I don't know what her goals may have been before, but for her career, she's going to make the time to do those things that she couldn't do before, but she wanted to do, which kind of goes in line with the lovers, the whole idea that we talked about earlier of figuring out your passions and starting to go towards those passions and making them a reality. So now let's go on to the next person, which is Chiquita. So what's in store for her career this 2025? So we have death. So this talks about like a death and rebirth, a transformation, a change. I guess the best way I can describe it is that this year we're going to see like a new version of herself. She's growing, she's maturing, and she is growing a backbone, meaning that now she has the confidence to speak her mind, say what she believes, and kind of stand her ground when it comes to her job, to negotiations, to the people that she's dealing with. Like, she's just growing up, so like we're gonna see like the old version of herself go away and a new one is going to be created. And this new version of herself is the one where she like activates these other traits of her that she kept dormant, yeah, that now she's like, okay, now I'm gonna be more confident, now I'm gonna speak my truth, now I'm gonna be a lot more honest and fearless and courageous, and so on and so on. Like things that she always had. So like her personality is not gonna like do a 180, but now we're going to see that now she has a bit more courage to speak up, a bit more courage to say what she thinks, and to not be like super afraid of doing something wrong, or being super afraid of saying the wrong thing, or dealing with like the wrong people. Is like now she has a confidence that she knows what she's doing, that she knows who she is, and that she is invincible because she can make anything happen now that she knows herself better. So it's kind of like just going through this butterfly moment of going from her caterpillar stage to her butterfly stage that allows her to be free and beautiful and just experience life to its fullest with a freedom of being her own person, basically. So this death card just seems very positive. I don't know how difficult the transition could be for her, or how difficult it has been, if you guys have like noticed that she's changing, but just keep in mind that it's still a very natural thing to happen since she's growing up. We all change because one thing that is for sure is that change is going to happen. So we are all constantly changing, transforming, and becoming the new version of ourselves that we believe to be ideal or better. So it's just normal. But now let's go on to the last question of this reading, which is the advice and healing messages. So what advice or healing messages have to come through for Babymonster this 2025? The first card that came out is Cardinal Moon with Be Bold and Make the First Move, which I believe we kind of saw earlier. I think it was... Oh yeah, with the new moon in Aries, the whole idea of like it's time to take action. So I want to point out that Aries is a cardinal sign, and cardinal signs in astrology usually talk about the initiators, people that take action, people that are a bit like, I was gonna say entrepreneurs, but that's not necessarily it. It's like the whole idea of someone that is like, I'm gonna take a risk, I'm gonna try this new thing, I'm going to follow my dreams and my goals by just executing them. Cardinal signs are very good leaders in a sense of like they're very good at like gathering people and motivating them to try these new ideas that they have in mind. And this kind of shows that the advice for Babymonster is to follow their gut, do what they want to do, and become trendsetters in that sense. It's just like, just do what you need to do, and Spirit will take care of like making sure that it's worth it, making sure that it's worthwhile. So for the group, it's like just take risks, be brave, Of course, not reckless or impulsive in a negative way, but more along the lines of like, don't hold yourself back. Don't limit yourself. Just try new things, learn when you have to learn, and then adjust so like that the next time they try to expand on an idea or on themselves, they are able to do so in the most effective way because now they have like a foundation or a base that they can work with, something tangible that they can be like, oh yeah, this didn't work, this did work, and so on, so on. So let's see what other advice or TV messages come through for Babymonster for 2025. Perfect. So we have New Moon in Capricorn with your hard work is paying off. And we have first quarter moon with your commitment is being tested. Okay, so Capricorn energy is ruled by Saturn, and that makes me think of an energy of someone that's organizing themselves, working through the limitations of life, because Saturn energy is the planet that kind of puts us in a very tough position by getting rid of like different, like limiting us, and by limiting us, one thing that we have to learn is how to break free from those limitations, or how to make do and just expand and grow within the limited environment that we may have. So let's say that the girls are in a situation where they don't have all the resources necessary to make one of their dreams come true. Then by having the lack of resources, they have to get creative in order to make that dream happen. And by that, they learn a lot, and they kind of show themselves that they're able to accomplish something unexpectedly. And all they have to do is just try it, just figure out what works, what doesn't work, what maybe before when they were planning they had a certain plan and they were like, okay, this is perfect, but then when they get down to actually executing that plan, they go like, oh no, this idea is better, that idea is better. And sometimes mistakes and limitations and just unexpected things can make it for us to learn and figure out other methods that are way better than what we had initially thought or we had actually learned. So for the group, it feels like this year one of the best advices that they could get is just to take action, learn from it, not give up on their dreams, and not give up on what they want to do. And as I mentioned earlier, with all that Saturn energy, it's like knowing that their hard work is going to pay off and it's going to bear fruit, and that they're going to do what they want to do, and even if it's not the way that they had initially expected or thought of. So yeah, also that Capricorn energy is like long-term thinking. So if any of the girls have made a plan, like a from 5 years from now, 5 years from now I want to accomplish this, 10 years from now I want this other thing, I do feel that if they do that, they're going to notice how their manifestations are happening, they're going to notice how their hard work is paying off. And that's because now they have a point of comparison of like, this is where I started and this is where I'm now, this is where I want to head. And then when they accomplish it, it's like, and I was able to achieve it. It's just a way of like being able to acknowledge and measure that growth that they've gone through within the year, or just their journeys in general. Anyway, I hope you guys liked this reading. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for all the love and support you have shown me and the channel. Let's hope that Babymonster has a decent year. It seems like individually, many of them are not really doing okay. We see arguments, conflict, some people being stubborn, some people arguing with the company. So it feels like I think last year Babymonster had so many positive cards. I was like, I'm so glad for them. But this year they have so many cards that I'm like, I'm slightly concerned that they might be under too much stress because of all the conflict and the clashing energies that we see here. It's like there's a lot of butting heads here, and I don't know if it's within the members or if it's just an individual member having personal issues with like staff, company, CEOs, or like family and friends. Like I don't know how involved they are all with each other with these problems, or if they individually are dealing with their own things that it's kind of overwhelming for them. Anyway, I will see you guys on the next one, whenever that is, however that is. I hope that you guys learned from this, or at least found it entertaining. Thank you so much once again for all the love and support you have shown me and the channel. And to end this off, love and healing from my part to you, and